Are you trying to make money here in Greyzone Warfare? But every route you take is already picked clean, or you got a geared squad of chads just waiting to ambush you? Well, then this video is for you. It's common knowledge that Tiger Bay, Fort Nerith, and Midnight Sapphire are the best loot potentials we have in game right now. But they do come with a risk, both for PvE and PvP players. This got me thinking, what routes offer you the ability to get a lot of loot, but doesn't see a lot of player traffic, and provides the ability for PvP if you want to take some fights? With these parameters in mind, I was able to come up with 3 routes you need to be adding to your rotation. But before I get into this video, I want to say if you like Greyzone Warfare content, consider hitting that subscribe button. It helps small YouTube content creators like myself, and it's free so you have nothing to lose. Anyway, before you go on these runs, you want to make sure that your gear is maxed out for profit potential. And this is where the PvE and the PvP players begin to differ. For the PvE, you're going to bring the biggest bag and chest rig you have access to. It's just what you're going to do. You have very little risk. I usually brought like something simple like a Mosin or whatever weapon I had just sitting around in my stash. But if you're like me, a PvP player, you're going to want to be a little bit more selective with your choices. A suppressed weapon is going to be a must. You need to be able to remain undetected to other players, and I suggest anything that shoots a 5.45 or a 7.62 so you can kind of refill your ammo from, dead AI. You're also not going to be taking out a patrol or delta bag, and I'll cover that more in detail in my PvP tips video, so stay tuned for that. You're also not going to need to take food or water. You're going to be able to find plenty of that on site. Alright, so route number 1, you're going to be going to the Cheon Village area, and I usually land Gulf 1 and run the length of this entire village. If you just want to go into the middle part of Cheon Village, then I would suggest actually landing Hotel 2, going up through these trees here, and then just hitting where these crate locations are. But if you want to maximize your potential, land at Gulf 1 and then run the whole length of the village. Now you got to be careful because you are near Midnight Sapphire and the Fa Lang airfield, so if you're in a PvP server, you could be attracting some attention. This, however, is a great place for you to go if you are looking for PvP and you don't want to be wasting your time because you are near both of those POIs. Now the loot here isn't, crazy good. You're not going to get MVGs or, something super crazy like that, but I have been able to find, the luxury watches, a lot of sights, a lot of spare cash, grenades. There's also a med crate inside the gas station if you need to come up with some meds. I've got, surgical kits, the survival ones, the 3x3. Tons of food for you to stock up the cooler back at your fob. And there's a lot of houses and not a lot of brush, so it's pretty easy to fight the AI. You're not going to get one tap from a bush, a mile away, so that's always a plus. So I've done each one of these loot runs about 5 or 6 times, and for this one, it comes out to about an average of $4,500. Now, I'm not really looting effectively. I'm just kind of picking things up and keeping things that I think I might need later on, such as grenades or food and water. You could probably bump that number up if you looted a little bit more effectively than me, took a Glock and killed a guy and then took his weapon and used that throughout the raid and, really min-maxed your loot potential. But I just want to give you guys a rough idea of what to expect when you go on these routes. Route number 2 is super easy, but has given me some of the most expensive weapons in game. You're going to want to bring all the BAMPA keys you have, and preferably the warehouse key specifically. Landing at Oscar 1, you're going to be heading to the house right off of the LZ. Here you'll find mostly water and food, but I have found phones and even earrings on the tables inside. When you're done doing your quick search of the area, you're going to want to head down to the road towards the ambush convoy. There are going to be about 6 to 7 enemies in the area. Once you've secured it, you're going to find an ammo box on the ground next to the lead truck and a crate inside the back. I've gotten MP5s, Remington 700s, and even the rare flat dark earth attachments from this crate alone. If you get something good that you don't want to lose and you want to just head back to the fob, then just go right back to Oscar 1. But if you want to get some more loot, start heading down the road towards the India 1 LZ. Once you get there, you're going to want to cross the river into the woods. There's another small camp with a wooden firearm crate. Now you have a decision to make. You can, just go out from India 1 or all the way back to Oscar 1 if you're really worried about people being in the area. But you could also start making your way into BAMPA, hitting up the warehouse key, the elder key, the normal places that you would go to get loot inside of BAMPA. What I like about this route is you're never going to see another player on it, at least not until you get to BAMPA. AI engagements are pretty simple, and you're going to come away with a decent amount of loot. For the PvP players, this is a great way to get into the Banpa area without tipping off potential players. India 2 is one of the most active LZs in the game. This allows you to get to that area undetected, giving you the advantage you need to win those gunfights. If you go into Banpa with the keys, you can make around 10,000. If you choose to take the safer route, you're going to make somewhere in the ballpark of 6,000. One thing I like to do is take this route first, then go do the one that I talked at the very beginning of the video, and then come right back to this route again, because by the time you get done with route number 1, this one will have reset and you can make even more money. Alright, the last route and probably the longest one, but a great one, especially if you hate Mithras, or just want to hang around Tiger Bay. Land at November 1 and make your way southeastward. You're going to come to a place called the Restaurant. There's usually 1 or 2 AI in the area, but upstairs, there is an equipment crate that spawns things like Vest or Ear Pro. From there, you're going to want to head northward following the road. In doing so, you're going to come upon another ambush convoy. It's defended by 5 to 6 AI and will have a UN's firearm crate, a medical bag, and an ammo can for you to loot. Once you got your inventory sorted, you're going to want to head towards the house on the hill. I haven't had a lot of luck finding high tier loot here, but the few dollars you get from the AI makes it worth it. Continue in a northwesterly direction and you will come across the LAF checkpoint, where there will be a military gear crate. Every time I've gone here, I have gotten the skull mask along with other high tier gear items. The 2 AI guards are regular military, so good armor, weapons, and ammo are on them as well. Now head due east towards the militia outpost. Here it's guarded by the local militia forces. There's a wooden firearm crate and some decent loot laying around on the ground. I will admit though, there are a lot of bushes and it's kind of easy for the AI to hide in those, so a grenade might not be a bad option for you to bring. Then exfil with all your goodies to Juliet 4. I do this loot run in reverse a lot when I'm going to scout out Mithras, but it's also a good way to stay around the Tiger Bay area. This route can net you anywhere from 8 to 9,000, and it's just really dependent on what you get out of those crates. Alright, those are my top 3 loot runs that most people don't know about, and if you do use them now and take all my gear, I swear to God I will find you and probably do nothing because you're probably a Lemang gang guy like me. Anyway guys, my name is Enlightened Enlisted, and I appreciate you watching today's video, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.